Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Online Smicha. There is a din that's mentioned in Hilchas Avoidance Kechavim, which could also apply to Hilchas Pesach, as I will soon explain. In Hilchas Avoidance Kechavim, Simen Kuf Mem Beis, Seif Tezvav, we all know that Avodah Zarah is usher, obviously, but Avodah Zarah is even usher b'hana, to have pleasure from. Even chas v'sholom, even if you're not obviously serving avodah zarah, just having hana from avodah zarah is also prohibited. And this is where the similarity is to chometz, because chometz is also asur b'hana. So listen to a din in Simen Kuf Mem Beis Seif Tezvav. The Mechaber says, asur l'shmoya kli shir shel elilim. You're not allowed to listen to music that's being played by getchkes, by idol worshippers. Oile stakel b'noya lilim. You're not even allowed to look at a beautiful, something nice that they have in the by the getchkes, by the idols. Kivan shenana beriya, because you're having hana by either listening to the nice music or having hana from the sight. Comes the Ramah, and the Ramah says, Umiu davar she'ein miskavein mutter. However, if it's something that happened, the hana happened unintentional, it means you're just walking and the music is coming out of Lahavdala church or something like that, because it wasn't your goal, you didn't walk there to have hana, it's mutter. The Shach in Sif Cotton, Lamed Dalid, he says like this. He brings some different paiskim, umevur sham, and as explained, he says, b'shasu paiskim, even if he's able to walk through a different direction, yet he goes on this street where there is music being played, mutar kisheina miskavein. As long as his intention wasn't to have hana, as long as that's not what he wants to do, it's fine. And he continues, umevur b'toisves varash, that the Mairi be'inyan sheyachal latem ozno v'latzem eino v'listem nechirov. This is only if he's able to hold his nose, shut his eyes, shut his ears, shelayana min hakoil hamara v'reach. That he's able, in such a way, he's able to prevent himself not having any hana from either the sight, the singing, the voice, or the smell. Umutar and then it will be mutter if he doesn't have any intention to have hana. But if he's not able to do that, asur, it would be prohibited. Now this shach is questionable. There's a machlekes. For example, the Chachmas Adam in Klal Pei Dalet Seif Tes Zayin says that anybody, he paskins based on this shach, anybody's walking in the street, and he walks in a place where there's goyish music coming out of Lahavdala church, tzarich lataim aznav. Based on, he's reading the shach as is, and he says you have to, if you're going through that area, you have to shut your ears. If there's smell coming out of there, you have to make sure you hold your nose, because that's something you could do to prevent, even though you didn't go there intentionally. However, the Chafetz Chaim in Klal Vav, Seif Hey, Sif Katan Chav Daled, argues, and he brings a raya from the Gemara in Pesachim, as we will soon see, that hana, he holds that hana, any pleasure that comes to a person on its own, I am not making it, and I am not looking for it, from the Gemara in Pesachim is mashma, that's not considered hana. And he says, what does the shach mean over here in Sif Katan Lamed Daled? The shach is saying like this, that if he does walk in a street like this, he needs to have at least the possibility to shut his ears or hold his nose. But not necessarily he has to do it, because as long as he didn't have intention, that's not what he wanted to do, it's called hana abba me'aleha. And the Chafetz Chaim goes on to say, we find that the Gemara says that certain times, by certain unsneeristic places, it talks about where women hang up the laundry, so not necessarily they're dressed properly. So it says if anybody's walking through that area, he has to shut his eyes. L'chayra, it's not something that we hope you didn't go there intentionally. So perhaps by arayis, by the isser of arayis, because there is a strong Yetzirah, a stronger Yetzirah for that, perhaps there was a special chumrah. Where does this play a role in Hilchas Pesach? In Hilchas Pesach, in Siman Tov Mem Gimel, in Shulchan Aruch Harav, in Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, Seif Gimel, he says that we know that chometz b'Pesach is Asur b'Hana, and that Isur Hana already starts from Erev Pesach, Mishah Shishis L'mayla, and he lists off all the things that you're not allowed to do. He says you're not allowed to sell it to a guy, you're not allowed to give it to a present, you're not even allowed to make it hefker, it's not yours. You're not allowed to give it to the animals, food. In the parentheses, he writes, B'fichach asur lahariach pas chometz shel goy. You're not allowed to even smell bread that a guy is breaking from shah shishas ve'elach. And the Mishnah Brura, Taka says, the Mishnah Brura in Siman Tov Mem Zayin, Taka brings that if you're walking in a certain area and there is a smell from a bakery, perhaps there is an issue. So in Bir Halacha, in the beginning of Tov Mem Gimel, so he also quotes Asur lahariach pashel goy. So what happens if you're just walking by, but your intention wasn't to sniff that smell? It will depend in this machlekes from the chometz Adam and the Chafetz Chaim. According to the chometz Adam, you would have to hold your nose, even though you didn't intend to go there, but it's hana. According to Chafetz Chaim, as long as you didn't want to go there, it wouldn't be it's considered hana ba me'aleh, which you don't have to be worried about.